You're welcome to this channel. Don't forget to like, to share, and also to subscribe. Edo government staffed my palace of funds for 7 months. We survived without support. Oba of Benin. Oba of Benin is Royal Majesty Omonoba Nedo Okolopolo Ebuari II has disclosed that the Edo state government under the previous administration withheld the palace's statutory funds for a period of 7 months. He made the revelation while addressing journalists during a media party held at his palace in Benin City on Friday, June 27. The revered traditional ruler expressed concern that the palace was first subjected to a reduction in funds, which was later followed by a total halt in disbursements. During that period, the palace reportedly took on the full responsibility of staff salaries and maintenance. It was a deliberate attempt to undermine the authority of the Benin throne. Oba Ewuare II stated, "But God and my ancestors did not allow such efforts to succeed." The Oba said efforts to weaken the palace authority are not new. He recalled how his grandfather faced similar issues during his reign. Despite close ties with a military leader, a sacred ground near the palace was turned into a residential building. In contrast, the Oba praised the current state government, led by Governor Monday Okpebholo, for restoring the full statutory entitlement to the palace and for respecting the traditional institution. He also commended the federal government's role in facilitating the return of looted Benin artifacts. "I urge all Edo people to support this administration to ensure it delivers on its campaign promises," he added. Also present at the meeting was the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) Edo State Chapter, Dr. Festus Alege, who lauded the monarch for his guidance and support to journalists in the state. That was the submission of the Omonoba of of Benin. That's the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewuare II, as regards his experience with the previous administration in Edo State. There are certain things that for all me is of concern, and that's the fact that ab initio, when the British first came, their interaction was with the traditional rulers. But immediately they began to, ask us to have our own government and democracy. It seems as if somehow, our people had to make laws that make the Obas to be lower than the governors or whoever, maybe local government chairman. That was where they placed the traditional institution. And to a large extent, since that time, that has given unnecessary, undue power to the state to ruffle with the traditional ruler and malhandle them. But all things being equal, they've been experiencing such situation, and they have been surviving because those who come to power, executive power, will leave maybe in 4 years or so, or 8 years. Even the military, of course, they will eventually leave because if they are not dead there, somebody will topple them, or they live peacefully by handing over to a democratically elected government, which in turn has a very short time. But while they made such decree and the laws to that put the traditional institution under the supervision of the local government, a council or chairman has been the bane even for this institution. And that is why at all levels, the government can decide who doesn't like the face of whoever is in charge of the traditional institution. They can decide to toy with him or her. They can decide to discipline as he desire, because his own power is above the traditional institution. But it wasn't so before then. It was direct contact, with the British whatever that came, and then even before the British even come, there is always a saying. that there is always, you know, help me to put down something is the language you hear in the palace. And it's a pity that this time around there's nobody bringing all those things again. And then we are now hearing statement like this for a a first class king like the Oba of Benin, saying that the traditional institution, the palace, was staffed for almost 7 months. Why should you even use the word staff? Is there not supposed to be surplus even in the palace? But that's the way we have found ourselves. And of course, it's becoming a very serious issue. So, any Oba that has no good relationship with either the local government chairman or the state governor is going to be in soup. He can, you know, be threatened with hunger. They can decide to withdraw his allocation or also, of course, reduce it as the Oba of Benin also made mention. And of course, I don't know what will have caused the problem between himself and the then state government, that's the government of Obaseki Godwin. Whatever may be the situation, we shouldn't desecrate our traditional institution. Yes, God has brought them here, the Obas, and we are supposed to give them the respect in which they are due. And also, it's just a pity that the government oftentimes fail to harness the potential that these traditional rulers they have. All this problem we have when it comes to ethnic issues and the likes, even religious issues, is a piece of cake for them, even to help us. To help the government to solve, that is, if government is serious about putting an end to the problem and solving the matter in the nearest possible time. But it's just a pity that since they don't consult these people, of course, all those who are busy perpetrating evil will have to continue, because oftentimes they live in the midst of the people, and the Oba always have first-hand information, even from his subject, even some of the information that the government couldn't have. At least we have been hearing so many that the villagers were afraid to talk, they couldn't approach anybody. But for sure, they can always approach their king. He's we living with them, and the government can, harness that opportunity. Of course, as the new government is in power now in Edo State, and the Oba is happy with the government, he should be able to maintain the relationship and to also hear what the people say. Because most times, what caused the rift is that the Oba will speak the bitter truth because he's feeling the pulse of the people, and the state governor may not really want to buy it. But we advise Okpebholo to try as much as possible to work hand in hand with the traditional institution, and the state will move forward. Keep liking, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share. Thank you.